What are you doing, good boy? Hello, Mr. Sammy. Hello, everybody. I'm David. Welcome to Barely a Farm, where we deal with lots of smoke inhalation from burning RV parts outside. You know, there are tons and tons and tons of RVs out there that are just complete junk and water damage. Well, as it just so happens, I got one. Actually, this RV, as of right now, has cost me about negative $50. And the reason I say that, I had a tow bill to get it here, basically. Got it for pretty much free, and I've sold a bunch of stuff that was out of here. I did that video, my last video actually is showing everything that was in here. So, as of now, it's looking like I'm going to sell enough stuff that was in here to actually fix the walls and stuff. Now, depending on how you want to do it, obviously there's 57,000 different ways to go about it. And where I'm doing pretty much a complete gut and redo, I have lots of room to do anything I want to do in here. Oh. Now usually with these, it seems like the refrigerator vent, the AC, the back wall, and the front wall is what rots out. Now this one, it is, yeah, you could say rotted out. But the cross members are good. And nothing around the AC is rotted out. So that's good. I've actually torn all this out just to take a look at it. Yeah, all the beams around the AC are good. The back wall is completely gone. As you can see, daylight and floor out of there. And what happens, the water comes down and rots out the cross members. And then the whole RV actually sags on the completely down and rests on this back wall, which then buckles it. You go down the road, you vibrate, and it falls apart. That's when you see the big splits on the back side of the RVs. Kind of like that. I mean, that's a inch gap all the way up, halfway up the wall. Now up front is another place. Now this RV is kind of neat. It's got a bunch of supports, I guess, that hold this part on the cab. The cab is basically connected to this. And so this hasn't completely sagged out. A lot of times what happens is these rot out, and then the whole thing just collapses and falls. Obviously all the way rotted all the way across here. And you can see light in both corners. Now I would assume that it's probably the window that's leaking, would be my guess up here. And this got blue foam in it right now, but that long window is actually, I'm doing a window delete on that. And I'm going to keep the two side windows. They are great for cross ventilation. But I am deleting that front window. I don't need it. And I mean, shoot, if you're sleeping up here, do you want your butt showing out that window for everybody? I don't think so. One thing I thought about doing is maybe backlighting it and put, you know, I wish the wind would blow the smoke the other way. But I thought about, you know, backlighting it and do a sign and just closing it off up here. But I'm probably just going to delete it altogether. Now what I was talking about, this piece right here, this filler, it is holding up this whole thing right here. Now somebody junkingly tried to fix this. Looks like they just smeared it with their hand. Luckily it's been long enough ago that should be able just to brush off. And this one's real bad right here. But I'm going to have to figure out why this gap is here. Because it doesn't look like this is sagged at all, so that gap shouldn't be there. So, that gap is there because it slid forward. So, where that front's rotted out, the front wall has pushed forward. Little clues like that. Now, like I've mentioned in my past few videos, part of the reason I want to keep this RV is the sheet metal is all in great shape. Ridiculously dirty, but great shape nonetheless. And a good sign that your back wall is collapsed is this right here. As you can tell, it's all dented up. It's obviously from, you know, the weight of the back wall sitting down on ants. And obviously it's spread apart right there like I showed you on the inside. So, first step is to get this thing cleaned out. Now, I've been working on this for 2.5 days now. Going through, clearing out scrap metal. I'm fortunate to live out here in the country, so I've got ample space to do this and no neighbors to bother me about when my yard's going to get cleaned up. Let me get a little bit more cleaned out of here. I'll bring you guys back. Now, we have pretty much got this completely cleaned out. I still got a cabinet and a couple other little things, but for the most part, all the trash and junk's out. I've put stuff in these cabinets that I don't know what I want to do with. I may or may not keep. Now, when you get this far, don't get discouraged, because you will find even more damage than you thought you had before. That's okay. That's okay. We're repairing all this. No reason to be scared. Now, all these wires, you want to keep track of how they're running, where they're going, what they're doing, so forth and everything. You know, sometimes the smaller stuff are for lights, exterior lights, clearance lights. Some of the bigger, like white wires, they're for, you know, obviously electrical, AC, microwave, I don't know, whatever you may have. All these random outlets. But more plugs here. You just want to be mindful of those and don't go haywire cutting them. Unless if you're doing a complete gut and you want to change stuff, but that's a whole nother topic of discussion. So now we got pretty much everything vacuumed up, picked up, all the big trash out. Next thing you want to do, unfortunately this carpet's not salvageable. I'm really sad because I like the orange, but it's just not. So I'm going to go ahead, where Sammy's standing right there, this plywood down the middle is not original. Somebody's added that. So remember, you're just trying to get the RV to a point of drying out. That's your only goal right now. So next thing we got to do is we've got to come through here, get up this temporary flooring that's down here, or permanent as the 47 nails that are put in it shows it to be. Carpet, anything that holds moisture, get that out of here. Give me another 3 or 47 minutes here. We'll get this knocked out. Alright guys, here we go. I've got that plywood up. The floor is rougher in places than I would like for it to be. I'm assuming they laid it all the way back just to make it even, because this piece is good and this piece was good until it got water underneath of it. So this is all moist. That front is completely rotted out, most likely from the door leaking. And I don't know if you can hear the bumblebee that is in this area, but there's a nest somewhere, so I am pretty much done for the night. Besides, that's about as far as I'm going to go anyway today because I'm tired. But this piece right here I'm going to have to actually cut out. I'll wait another day, because for those who don't know, vibrations will irritate bees, wasps, and other kinds of stingy goodnesses. So to recap here in video part 1, what all have we done? We've done lots. We have, let me see if I can get you setting up here. There we go. So to recap, we have cleaned out all the trash, which if this is your RV, you probably won't have much, but you'd be surprised how much stuff you can accumulate. Getting rid of all the trash and junk that was in here. I have tore out the damaged parts partially, enough to get to dry wood, run through, shop vac everything, pull off any temporary repairs that you can. You want this to breathe. You know, the back's real bad on this one, and the front's pretty bad too. But in the middle, it's okay. But anyways, and it may take a week or two for it to dry out. It all depends on your climate, air, breezes, whatever. Another thing you can do is you can put a dehumidifier in there if you'd like. You know, get that pumping. That will pull a lot of moisture out of it. And fans would help too. Like I say, where I am, it gets hot enough here that it'll pretty much bake it in here and get rid of all of it, you know, naturally. Probably within a week or so. You know, it's Sunday right now, but this week this will be drying out, and I'll come in here and eventually get the rest of the stuff out of here, you know, before next weekend. And next weekend, theoretically, I can start the repairs. This is the worst back here, so I want to start back here because the back third of the RV is sagged, and you can't see it, but there was a crossbar that came across here for, I'm assuming, a cabinet right here, and it was all cockeyed. So it starts right about where I'm standing. But anyways, the goal, I've left these cabinets are coming out, but I left these cabinets in here for the time being because I'm going to run a support across here, put a jack right here, and actually try to jack up the back of the RV. It should lift with no problem. It's only got to come up maybe 4 inches from what I can tell. And if I can get the back 2 or 3, you know, put it right here, I can get the back 2 braces in, which should be enough to hold the back, and then I can go ahead and get the one in front of it that needs to be done. I think there's also one up here that has to do. Basically, there's 2x4s that are flipped. But like I say, that'll be part 2. So anyways, again, like I said, I am David with Bearlift Farm. I appreciate all the subscribers and viewers, and you know, the few comments that I get. Most of y'all have followed several of my projects, and I'm always, you know, like stuff out of the ordinary. By the way, this right here is going to be kind of a mobile man cave, so to speak, for me and my son. You know, I do want to hot rod it a little bit, maybe change the gearing in the rear end, a couple things up front. It just kind of depends, you know, if I can get it running or not. Plans for today were to actually get it running and be sure it moved, but the wiring has been so cobbled with, it's pretty much unfixable. And I ordered the wrong spark plugs. So I'll have to get the right ones ordered tomorrow, because it turns out nobody in town stocks anything for this. And I've got to order some fuse blocks and some switches and some other random things like that to start on the wiring. Of course, to get it running, it's only like 2 wires you got to hook up, so that's no big deal at all. But like I say, I'd like to at least get her, just to be sure. It should. I've turned it over. It sounds healthy. There's no gallop. But I would really like to hear it run before I invest too much time and energy back here. Anyways, you guys be good and be safe, and we'll catch you next time.